spawning in the top right position as our blue Zerg player couldn't quite handle the heat in game number 1, lost pretty much the 2 racks to cripplingly game-losing damage from it. He's from Team Acer, he is Bly. And spawning in the bottom left position of Cloud Kingdom is our red Terran player. His 2X actually got scouted, but he was very gutsy, he went with it anyway, and well, he managed to take a quick lead. He's also from Team Acer, he is MMA. So, Cloud Kingdom is one of the more popular Wings of Liberty maps. This is one that a lot of players would say they're most comfortable with. It didn't come in super early into the Wings of Liberty life cycle, as it were, so it's carried on pretty well in the Heart of the Swarm. Map actually ended up being used in Pro League, GSL for a very long time, so this is a map that a lot of big Wings of Liberty players are very comfortable with. So I like that. I think that both players are going to be just fine on this map. Now, if I recall correctly, this is loser's choice though, so I feel a lot of Zerg players actually really like this map, just because the third's very close. It's actually a bit easier to defend 11-11 2-rack style moves, because you can actually mineral lock your drones over to this space and just move right through any number of SCVs or Marines and just try to get a big attack. Cloud Kingdom, very historical map. I believe the Battle of Gettysburg was actually fought. Not New Gettysburg, just the regular one. MMA going out to scout an SCV. He is building his barracks in his main base, so it looks like a 1-racks expand. Not going to be the 1-racks bunker rush of doom. An SCV is going to be crossing along now. There's nothing really interesting for it to see, though. We had a 15 hash rate by Bly. Pool follow-up. No gas yet, so MMA is mostly looking for gas, and this is going to determine whether or not he... where he places his original bunker, whether or not he goes for 3 command centers, 2 command centers, or 4. Generally, a lot of Terran players just stick to 2 these days. Sometimes we go into 3 triple orbital command play if there's no gas scouted at all, to try to help combat very high queen plays. MMA is trying to get this Marine into a nook or cranny to poke this Overlord away. But it sees all, and he's going to send this first Marine out, and he could just be a little bit of mind games, but I believe Bly is aware of this command center, so he knows he's not getting cheese or anything. And there we have gas started. MMA sees this, but ooh, he saw the gas start, but Bly immediately canceled it. We have a little bit of mind gaming going on here of both ways. This is kind of interesting to see. MMA, he might actually not play as economically as he normally would, simply because he scouted gas from the Zerg player. Now he has to... he'd of course want to check any kind of follow-up to see if it's going to be done, but once you're at that 430 mark and these queens get out, and these queens are about to finish, it's going to be very difficult to scout, and the SV actually gets killed at the tower. MMA's scouting abilities are gone until he can get some Hellions out, and even then getting into the main base is quite difficult. So he's trying to poke ahead with these Marines, trying to shut down the Zergling scouts. These 2 will get away, and they can just walk around, really, and he's actually going to try to take the cheap path that he barely manages to duck in there. There is a lone Marine. Can he stop the Zerglings? He will just run away, but we have the factory starting now for MMA. The very standard follow-up to this style of build in Wings of Liberty for Terran players is you get the reactor, you get the factory, you pump out a couple of Hellions, and typically move into your 3rd command center, double engineering bin. MMA, I would not pin as a player to go mech. He's strongly favored the bio style. He has excellent micro, great control, and great macro. If you guys tuned in for our earlier Russian Star League matches, MMA has actually been playing a really nice showing. And he's actually only shown us bio games. So I have to say, I feel like we're going to see that style continue here. Bly, on the other hand, he's actually mixed it up quite a bit. I wouldn't be surprised if Bly tried to go for some cheeky timing. But he's taken that 3rd hatch rate, and this is a little bit more what I expect, especially since both these players know each other. They both understand also how good each other are, so I don't think anyone's going to take any crazy risks. The 11-11 is kind of a given on Entombed Valley, but this map looking much more kosher in terms of build orders. So as you guys can see here, MMA already psyched out a tiny bit. There was no front wall, and I guess he's decided not to do that for fear of any kind of baneling attack, but in the event of any kind of run-by, he has a bunker at the top of the ramp leading into his main, and this is largely due to him scouting that gas. Wants to make sure that nothing crazy is going to happen to him, and interestingly, Bly is aware of this. He's not taking advantage of it, though. He's just going to get double evolution chamber, roach horn, and a lair. So this is a pretty standard Zerg follow-up. Typically more seen in ZVP, honestly, when you're going into the Roach Hydra style, but it's picked up a little bit in popularity in the Zerg versus Terran matchup. So we have missile attacks on the way for Bly as well as Carapace. So this is actually looks like he wants to go into heavy Roach play, possibly Hydralisks later on, and he's gonna forsake those melee attack upgrades. And MMA is gonna try to just clear out the third, make sure there's nothing here, so that he can take this base as quickly as possible. Of course, the command center will need to morph into an orbital command after it completes. And there's a double engineering base, so we can definitely tell MMA is looking to go for that bio style. Cloak is going to be complete soon for the Banshees, and we do have our first one meandering its way across the map, getting ready to try to make some sweet love to this mineral line, but there is a spore crawler there. So it's going to be a little bit difficult to duck in. Now, of course, the Banshee can scout, but scouting from this angle is very difficult to do. There's going to be one spore per base already. I like this Marine poke going at the other side at the same time, though, but this Overlord sees it, and we have roaches on the way. Bly will not be deterred. The Banshee is here. It's going to activate that Cloak ability. It's going to move in. There's really not too much for it to get, though. As soon as it gets in range of anything here, the Spore Crawler should be able to shut it down. You could just try to use it from the front and just help poke away at these roaches, and that's exactly what he's going to do. He needs to pull the Banshee out of the Spore Crawler range, though. There we go. Now bringing it out. Banshees do a decent amount of DPS, but killing roaches is not exactly their forte. And it might be able to get this Queen, but the Overseer comes up. This Banshee really low on health, needs to get it out of here and will die. So great catch by Bly, barely losing anything. And MMA, he loses a solid chunk of Marines. He loses that Banshee. The Cloak Research basically wasted. So really nice start to this game for Bly. He's got a 30 supply lead. Keep in mind, some of this is in roaches. Very, very supply heavy units. Not really known for being supply effective, but a Banshee manages to duck in the right side. Just going to try to poke away at this gas. And right now, MMA is just trying to be as annoying as he can be. With his Banshees that he has. Roach speed is about to complete though, and we are seeing some forward pressure. MMA doesn't actually have too much to deal with this. The first bunker is about to complete. He's going to try to get the Marines in here, but the third base is creeped up, and it's actually looking a little bit scary for him. He doesn't seem quite on point today with his macro. In all honesty, he got a little bit scared from the possible early pressure, but there was none coming. And now the Roaches are just going to be able to kill this bunker. You guys can walk by it if you really wanted to, but MMA's going to pull more SCVs. He's going to try to save it. Will not be able to. And now there are a bunch of Speed Roaches with that Burrow upgrade, keep in mind, in his natural. So without any supply depots to actually wall off the main, Bly's just going to be able to storm right on into his base, and these Marauders, no stim, are not going to be able to stop this. MMA just GG's. Bly takes game number 2. So, pretty nicely chosen build here from Bly. He really mind-gamed MMA a lot. MMA could have been a little more greedy. He would have had it pay off by the time this Roach attack hit, but unfortunately, he got caught off guard by that, and we saw that bunker go up. That's resources you don't want to invest that early into defense, so that attack of his also didn't do too much either, so we're going to have to see if MMA can pull it back in game number 3, or if Bly is going to be able to keep winning these games that go on a little bit longer than the 5-minute mark. So, alright guys, I will see you right when we get into the next game. Don't go anywhere.